Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, it will get better.
To hand over to you, Yinka, because I want to hear about your strategic thinking.
All right. All right. Okay. So, like what I said earlier on, I was trying to use Abraham Lincoln. You know, for instance, I read something about Abraham Lincoln, and then Abraham Lincoln was, one of the most foremost former American presidents. And then I read this story about Mr. Abraham Lincoln that on every Wednesday evening, Mr. Abraham Lincoln used to slip out of the White House. It will sneak out of the White House to go listen to one of his friends. And this friend has a church in one of the Presbyterian church in New York. Is a reverend. Um, Abraham Lincoln will sneak out of the White House on every Wednesday evening to go listen to his friend. His friend is called Finiguli. On this particular Wednesday, after the teaching of the day, and then on going back to the White House, one of the aides said to Mr. Abraham Lincoln, he said, "Sir, how was the teaching of Finiguli?" He said that the teaching was eloquent, elegant, and interesting. So along the way, another aide said to the president, Mr. Abraham Lincoln, that was the teaching of Reverend Finiguli. Abraham Lincoln said that the teaching was a bit shaky. So the third aide was kind of like confused. Sir, you said initially that the teaching of Reverend Filiguli was, elegant, eloquent, interesting, powerful. So Abraham Lincoln said to them that though the teaching was interesting, I said that the teaching was interesting, eloquent, elegant, and inspiring, but Reverend Finiguli forgot to tell us one of the most vital secrets of success when it comes to strategic planning. He forgot to tell us to always do something, something small in a great way. He forgot to tell us to always do something small in a great way. So, and then one of the told Reverend, he told Abraham Lincoln, sir, how do we do something small in a great way? Abraham Lincoln said to them that you have to plan. You have to plan for something small, because it is small by small, small plus small, small plus small that get to something bigger. So one of the things that I've realized in our world is that when people have an idea, they have this, they have an idea and they always commonize, they say that this idea is small, so how do you want me to plan on a small idea? You understand? When you plan now on a smaller idea, it will determine how you plan when the big idea arrives. That's what we're trying to, pass across. That's what Abraham Lincoln was trying to tell them, that planning should be a long term. Like when we talk about strategic thinking, for instance, strategic thinking is broad and then is long term. And then when you talk about strategic thinking, in most cases, strategic thinking is what really informs, the blueprint created during strategic planning. When we talk about probably you want to achieve something great in life or something massive, the first thing that you must try to do is to first discover an idea or, set out on a particular task. Then when you discover this idea, you must try, or in as much as possible, to plan on those ideas. That's where most people try to miss it. But at the long run, people might try to want to commonize those ideas, like it might not really work. Probably your plan is not really working. I try to come up with something, but it's kind of spiritual. Like when God created the world initially, you understand, he had a plan. What was the plan? The plan was Adam and Eve. The plan of God was Adam and Eve, but the plan do not really work. So what did God do? He make a new plan. So what I'm trying to say is just like when you come up with an idea, probably you have an idea or you came up with a strategy, and then you're trying to implement your strategy, and then it does not really work for the first time, then you can try to come up with another plan. That's what we're trying to say. Do you get the point now? So in light of that, I'll try to define strategy. I'll try to define strategy, then I'll try to define planning, then I will now try to look at the importance of strategic planning. So first of all, let's try to look at what is strategy. Let's try to look at what's strategy, and then we'll try to look at what's planning. So when you talk about strategy in itself, strategy is actually vital to success, to a successful outcome in any undertaking. So strategy is the establishment of a plan. Strategy is the establishment of a plan. While planning in itself is the establishment of a goal. Let me translate that again. That strategy is the establishment of a plan, while planning in itself is the establishment of a goal. For instance, when you have a goal, that's just a dream. But when you inject the force of action in your goal, then that becomes a strategy. Like, that becomes a reality. That's what I'm trying to say. So I believe that you can actually have a plan in life, to become anything in the future. You can actually set out, create something on your mind that this is what I want to become. But if what you are saying that you want to become lack a plan, is still a dream. If I say, for instance, I want to become the world leading motivational speaker, and I'm just saying it with my mouth, I do not inject the force of plan in it, then that's just a dream. But for me to move that dream to the stage of reality, then I have to inject the force of planning. That's why I said initially that planning is, in fact, planning is the key to success. Planning is the keys to success. And I said that the most powerful force on earth initially are time and change. But the keys to the management of the effective time and change is planning. The keys to the effective management of that time and change is planning. So I think that's very, very important. So let's try to look at the importance of strategic planning. Let's try to look at the importance of strategic planning. Two things I will just try to mention before I try to shift my line of thought. Strategic planning, number one, it helps in defining direction. It helps in defining direction. As an organization or as an individual, when you have an idea, it's very important for you to understand what you really want to achieve with that idea. It's very, very important, very vital for you to understand what you really want to achieve with that idea. But you need a strategy to ensure that your ideas come to physical reality, to fruition. That's what we're trying to say. So strategic planning also helps in making decision. It also helps in making decision. For instance, when we talk about organization, probably they want to allocate resource. They want to try to allocate resource, or they want to come up with a board vision or all of that. But in order for the organization to make effective decisions, strategic planning actually help them to do this. That's what we're trying to talk about. So yes, then Emma, you can also come up before I run through the SWOT analysis, because I'm going to talk about the SWOT analysis after some times, which is part of the importance of strategic planning. So Emma, you can also come up.
No, you keep going. It's fantastic.
All right. Okay. Great. All right. So let's quickly look at before I talk about the practice, because I want to try to make these teaching. I want to try to make it a bit